Hello, hello, good morning. Hope you had better view. Better, I don't know what's some noise I'm hearing from this my laptop. The noise has come back. I'm gonna sort it out. So today we're gonna be talking about. I don't know whether to use my headphone, but the headphone. Um, we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna continue with our story of David, um, David and Saul. Today we're going to be talking about Ahimelech and the Edomites. Ahimelech and the Edomites. Okay, so those stories can be found in First. Is it First Samuel or First Kings? Hold on, let me get. It's here. Okay, 1 second. I have a call. Sorry, I had a call. So that story can be found in First Samuel. First Samuel. That one is First Samuel. First Samuel from 21. Mhm. Okay, so where David took the bread, the consecrated bread, he was hungry. The priest Ahimelech gave him the consecrated bread. Then, they had some discussion. Um, that's David and Ahimelech with some messengers of the 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 king's servants, right? But one thing that is striking there is the Edomite, that is a descendant of Esau, was there. That is a strange person. And when the Bible refers to strange women or strange people, they are people that are not consecrated to be there, right? They are not consecrated to be there. Um, they have had a history of bad behaviors. They have had a history of trying to exterminate your generation or try to damage you. In this time, like I said in my previous videos, anyone that tries to smear you, that tries to destroy your reputation, that tries to bring you down, can be considered a strange person. It can be from generation to generation. Okay, so let's read First Samuel chapter 21. So David was this period. David was running out. David has been anointed. He has been anointed to take over the kingship from Saul, and Saul was not happy about it. So he became jealous, and so David was just running around trying to preserve himself, trying to protect himself. So he ran to a place and met with the priest. So let me read 1 Samuel chapter 21. It says, Then David went to Nob to Ahimelech the priest. And Ahimelech came trembling in fear to meet David and said to him, Why are you alone and no one is with you? David said to Ahimelech the priest, The king has commissioned me with a matter and has told me, Let no one know anything about the matter for which I am sending you and with which I have commissioned you. I have directed the young men to a certain place. Now, all these stories, David was just telling me to just protect himself so that Ahimelech will not be scared, because Ahimelech was trembling. If yeah, why you know with people? Remember how David has killed the Philistine, how he has killed, like he has been doing exploits, right? So he's become a mighty person that people that is being respected, right? Now, verse 3 says, now, what food do you have on hand? David was asking, give me 5 loaves of bread or whatever can be found. The priest answered David, there is no ordinary unconsecrated bread on hand, but there is consecrated bread. You may have it if only the young men have kept themselves from women. Okay, sorry, let me share this video. Let me share this video. I have an appointment, so I'm going to be here. We'll continue this discussion um, when I come back. I have an appointment. So, 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 um, now, so the priest said, there is no ordinary unconsecrated bread on hand, but there is consecrated bread. You may have it if only the young men have kept themselves from women. David answered the priest, be assured that women have been kept from us in these days since I set out, and the bodies of the young men were consecrated, ceremonially clean. Remember the Old Testament, you have to be clean ceremonially. Although it was not an ordinary unconsecrated journey, so how much more will their vessels be holy today? So the priest gave him the consecrated bread, for there was no bread there except the bread of the presence, that's of the presence of God, which was removed from before the Lord in order to put hot bread in its place when he was taken away. Now, one of Saul's servants, pay attention to verse 7. It says, now one of Saul's servants was there. He's a mole from Saul's camp that day, detained before the Lord. His name was Doeg, Doeg. I don't know how they pronounce it. Maybe Doeg, the Edomite, the chief of Saul's shepherds. So this is where they made a mistake. We all learned things from these Bible stories. They would have removed, before they had an intimate discussion, they would have sent this guy away. Now David said to Ahimelech, do you not have a sword or spear here on hand? For I brought neither my sword nor my other weapons with me, because the king's business was urgent. Remember, he ran away from the king's presence for his life, so he didn't take anything. So then the priest said, the sword of Goliath the Philistine, the one you killed, right? Uh, whom you killed in the valley of Elah, is here, wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If you would take it for yourself, do so, for there is no other here except for it. And David said, there is none like that, give it to me. Then David arose and fled from Saul that day and went to Achish, king of Gath. The servants of Achish said to him, is this not David, the king of the land? Did they not sing in praise of this one, as they dance, saying, Saul has slain his thousands, and David has slain his 10,000? David took these words to heart and was greatly afraid of Achish, king of Gath. So, fearing for his life, he was always scared of his life. He was always protecting himself. That's one thing we learn from David. So, David took these words to heart and was greatly afraid of Achish, king of Gath. So, fearing for his life, he changed his behavior in their sight and acted insanely, insanely in their hands. And he scribbled on the door of the gate and drooled on his bed. Then Achish said to his servants, look, you see that the man is insane. Why have you brought him to me? Do I lack madmen that you bring this one to behave like a madman in my presence? Shall this one come into my house? Now, let's go to chapter 22, where we're going to draw our inference, our what's it called now? Our lessons for this topic. Now, chapter 22, First Samuel chapter 22 from verse 1 says, So David departed from there and escaped to the cave of Adullam. And when his brothers and all his father's house heard about it, they went down there to him. Everyone who was suffering hardship, and everyone who was in debt, and everyone who was discontented gathered to him, and he became captain over them. There were about 400 men with him. And David went from there to Mizpah of Moab, and he said to the king of Moab, "Please let my father and my mother come out of Judah and stay with you until I know what God will do for me." Then he left them with the king of Moab, and they stayed with him all the time that David was in the stronghold. Then the prophet Gad said to David, "Do not stay in the stronghold, leave and go into the land of Judah." So David left and went into the forest of Heret. But Saul heard that David and the men who were with him had been discovered. Now Saul was in Gibeah, sitting under the tamarisk tree on the high place with his spear in his hand, and all his servants were standing around him. Saul said to his servants who were standing around him, "Listen, now you Benjamites, will the son of Jesse also give every one of you fields and vineyards? Will he make you all commanders of thousands and hundreds?" So he was trying to ask them, he was trying to let them know that, oh, he's the one that is, he's with them. He's trying to buy them over against David. So verse 8 says, "For all of you have conspired against me." Now Saul talking, right? "So that no one informs me when my son Jonathan makes a covenant with the son of Jesse. None of you cares about me or informs me that my son has stirred up my servant against me to lie in ambush as he does this day." Then Doeg the Edomite that we talked about, that he shouldn't have been. Ahimelech and David should have sent him away before they had any intimate discussion. So Doeg the Edomite, who was standing with Saul's servants, replied, "I saw the son of Jesse coming to knock to Ahimelech the priest, the son of Ahitub." Ahimelech inquired of the Lord for him and gave him provisions and the sword of Goliath and the Philistine. Then the king sent someone to call Ahimelech the priest. The king Saul was angry, so he felt, oh, this one is helping David to escape and empowering him and supporting him. Then the king sent someone to call Ahimelech the priest, the son of Ahitub, and all his father's household, the priests who were at Nob, and all of them came to the king. Okay. So then Saul said, "Listen now, son of Ahitub," he replied. "Here I am at your service, my lord." He's never calling him the priest, calling him son of Ahitub. Verse 13. Saul said to that's Ahimelech now, why have you and the son of Jesse conspired against me, in that you have given him bread and a sword, and have inquired of God for him, so he will rebel against me by lying in ambush as he does this day?" Then Ahimelech answered the king, "And who among all your servants is as faithful and trustworthy as David? Who is the king's son-in-law, and who is captain over your guard and your confidant, and is honored in your house? Did I just begin to inquire of God for him today? Far be it from me. Do not let the king impute any guilt to the servant or to any of the household of my father, for your servant knows nothing at all about this entire matter." But Saul said, "Be assured that you shall die, Ahimelech, you and your father's household," as extended family. And the king said to the guards who stood around him, "Turn around and kill the priests of the Lord, because their loyalty also is with David, and because they knew that he was fleeing and did not inform me." But the servants of the king were not willing to put out their hands to attack the Lord's priests. Now, why would he want to kill the priests? Because um, he's um, he's he's protecting or being nice to someone that is innocent, an innocent soul. Now, look at the servants that are with him. Nobody wanted to soil their hands to kill the priest. The priest is another innocent person, right? So the king said to Doeg, the same Doeg, the Edomite, you turn around and attack the priest." And Doeg, the Edomite, turned and attacked the priest. And that day he killed 85 men who wore the priestly linen ephod, right? And he struck Nob, the city of the priests, with the edge of the sword, both men and women, children and infants. Also he struck oxen and donkeys and sheep with the edge of the sword. But one of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Ahitub, named Abiathar, escaped and fled to David. Abiathar told David that Saul had murdered the lost priest. Then David said to Abiathar, I knew that day. I knew that day. Something was telling him that day, but he was not acting on his instincts. I knew that day when Doeg the Edomite was there that he would certainly tell Saul, I have brought about the death of everyone in your father's household, that's extended family. Stay with me, do not be afraid, for he who seeks my life also seeks your life also, and seeks your life, but you are safe with me. So something this if I don't know if they had the Holy Spirit then, but something was ministering to him that, oh, this dog is not safe to be around this dog. But but he didn't listen, he didn't heed to that that inner thing that was ministering to him, right? So I would think it's David's mistake here, because Ahimelech is innocent of all these things. He doesn't even know what is going on. He um he didn't he wasn't privy to all the things that are happening to David. He thought everyone was safe. He thought he was having a good relationship with David, owing to the fact that David has, helped his kingdom to do exploits, to excel, to kill their enemies, right? And and propagate the gospel, like what God, to help. He's helping Saul fulfill his ministry, his calling. But just because he's an achiever, he became jealous. He didn't have the spirit of God to also know that he cannot be the only one shining. Another person, another person can shine, and God can choose anyone. And so far, the work is even going on. The work he was called to do is his kingdom is going on, and there's nothing you can't. When God has decided to bless someone or to lift someone, you can't stop it. And one day, all of us will live our lives and go and leave this earth, right? So you can't hold back time. You can't hold back somebody's destiny. You can't stop anyone. Nobody can stop anyone, right? I am here now, I can't stop anyone from growing, from being, you know, using their God given potentials and excelling, right? So, and when somebody, as a king, as a priest, David has been anointed as a priest, David has been anointed as a king, as a priest. Ahimelech was a priest. Um, we need to be careful when the Spirit. These days we have the Holy Spirit in us, right, living in us. When the Spirit ministers to you, be careful about something. Your nudges, your um, yeah, ministers to you. Take it into consideration. Don't say, "Oh, it doesn't matter." Look at that singular mistake now cost Ahimelech his life, innocent person, and all his household. Look at Doeg, the Edomite, the descendant of Esau. Esau that wanted to murder Joseph too. Sorry, they wanted to murder Jacob. He still carried their bad behavior down to. They brought him into their closet. Why will you bring a stranger into your closet? A stranger now does not mean somebody you don't know. Somebody that has bad behavior is a strange person. Somebody that has tried in the past to bring you down is a strange person. I don't care if you are related by blood. That person is a stranger and supposed to remain a stranger in your life. Why did they bring him close? Why is it? Why is he in the inner court with them? Now he's the one that had the guts. He's the one that had the guts to murder the king, the priest. When the servants, those are people that were Israelites, people that are let me not use the word consecrated, but people that have good behavior, people that have good conscience. They couldn't attack the priest. They said no, they're not going to. Not much as is the king sending them, they're not going to do it. But that's when the evil one, the strange one that they brought inside, had the guts to murder, murder, kill everybody. It's only Abiathar that escaped. So what am I trying to say now? and to encourage you. If you have been called to kingship, to priesthood, be very careful. Listen to your inner spirit before you take any decision. Before you take any decision, listen. Listen to your spirit. Listen to what the spirit is telling you. Be careful who you bring to your inner court. Be careful who you bring to your inner court. Look at Doeg the Edomite, how Ahimelech let him in, let him close to the inner court, his pace. He was the one that now had the guts to kill him. Okay, he was the one that was able to do the dirty job when he was needed, right? So if you didn't bring him to the inner court, or even if you want to do good from afar. I don't know how they say they consecrated he was dedicated to, I don't know, was dedicated to God or something. He heard their discussion. He saw David. He heard a discussion immediately. He's looking for favor from Saul in a bad way. Went and told Saul, "Oh, Ahimelech has done this, done that, done this, done the other one," and that's when that's when that provoked Saul, and Saul was now um, able to send for him, and the Edomites, Doeg the Edomite, Doeg, I don't know how they pronounce it. Doeg the Edomite now was still the one that now finished him. Okay, so all these Bible stories tell us something. They always tell us something. When I was reading this yesterday, I was like, what? What on earth? What on earth will make you? Don't take it lightly. Don't take it for granted. Don't take all this. All this. It might seem little. All these little things. Don't take them for granted. They might they might save you. They will save you. Not even they might. They will save you one day. So if you have been, except you just want to live a mediocre life, you're just there. You're just a simple person. When I mean simple, um, you don't really have any calling. You don't really have any um, any assignments that have been given to you on earth, right? But if you are preserved, you carry purpose. There's a destiny for you to fulfill. There's a purpose for you to fulfill. You have to be very careful. You have to guard yourself, irrespective of what anyone would say. Okay? Whatever anyone will say, you need to close your ears to that. Only you know what God has called you to do. Only you know where you are headed. Only you know what your purpose and destiny in life is. So don't allow anybody to tamper with that. Because a lot of people are on earth. The devil has sent a lot of people to tamper with that. Trust me. A lot of people have been sent to truncate your journey on earth, to mess with you, to mess with your God given destiny. Okay? So that's why you have to be very, very careful. Sorry, my hair keeps pulling out. That's why you have to be very, very careful, especially who you bring close, who who is private to your personal information, right? Like you don't need to fight with them. Um, you don't need to do anything dramatic. Just be careful. Just make sure you guide yourself. There's a place in the Bible that the Word of God also says, guard your hearts with all diligence, right? Yeah, also guard your space. I will add that guard your space. Make sure you protect yourself. A team, this team, there's this game that people do. There's a game like that where people guard themselves, like nobody should just come into the camp like that to pollute it. There are different ways people can come and pollute your life by having access to your personal information. That's why even in the digital world, they use passwords. Your bank account, you have to use password. Now, these days, they even have two-factor authentication or multiple factor authentication. You put your password, they send you text, or use authenticator app, or use email. Just use another level to show this is you. So if everybody is supposed to be an all commerce affair, life supposed to be all commerce affair, then it then means we're just wasting our time now by doing all those things, right? So that's how your life, I always say it, your life should be operated like an entity, right? Like a company. You're supposed to run your life like a company, like an entity, and make sure that you as the CEO of your life, and you're um, you're being cautious. The president, which is God, has given you a mandate to achieve something on earth, to fulfill something on earth, fulfill purpose, your destiny. You are carrying a generation, right, behind you as well, right? Probably all people that have gone before you, you need to also make them proud, right? So that's not a time. Some people are out there to throw that, to scatter that thing. When people see your destiny, when people see you, they know all these evil. It's all these evil people. They know, they have an eye to know. This one is going somewhere. So sometimes, just like Saul knew that David has been anointed, but he wasn't there when David was anointed. And I don't think anybody called him and told. Did anybody call him and tell him? Did Samuel do that? I can't remember. But even if Samuel did, he wasn't there when David was anointed, but he knew that this one is going somewhere. So devil entered him, and he was constantly looking for a way to exterminate his life, to just cut his head off. Meanwhile, David was being careful. David didn't want to soil his hands two times, at least two times for till where we are now. Two times he had the opportunity to kill him, but he didn't do that. He said he's not going to touch his master, God's anointed. David understood the assignment. He knew that this one is God's anointed. I'm not going to kill him, right? But he was also being very careful. He didn't just let himself say, "Oh, God has anointed me." This one, he was anointed, though. He was anointed, like physical anointing to go by the priest, and he had been given the throne, so to speak. But it's now time for him to possess it. But you see, he was being careful. He was always watching his back. That is the way you are supposed to do as well. He was always watching his back. He was always checking. This my face that is shining like this. Maybe most likely some people are not happy about it. So you don't just say, oh, because you are nice to people. David was nice to Saul, preserved his life, nice to his family. But Saul was not. Saul didn't say, oh, because this one is nice to me, let me just let him live. They don't. Those evil people, they don't say because you are nice to them, they are going to be also reciprocate and be nice to you. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So you are the one that need to be careful. You need to protect yourself. You need to make sure you don't play into their hands. That's why I'm on social media. That's why I'm on YouTube. That's why I'm on TikTok everywhere. I'm sounding it on the top of my voice. And I'm talking to especially people of faith, because people of faith, they're going to tell you, they're going to manipulate you to subdue you. Oh, you need to be humble. There's no word they will not throw at you. You need to be. So if I'm protecting myself, that means I'm not humble. So if I'm trying to fulfill my purpose, I'm holding my head high. I know my calling in life. That means I'm not humble. I don't know. You need to protect yourself. Manipulators are everywhere. They're trying to make you dampen your, to take away that the calling God has given you in very many ways. The worst they do is smearing. Look at how Saul was telling his servants. Is David going to also give you vineyards? Going to give you this, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Is that what they're talking about? He knows his time is up. He knows he messed up and God has taken away the throne for him. Instead of him to just calm down and say, oh, my son. He also calls him his son. Oh, my son, I'm hand over. If he had just did not allow jealousy. If see in life, if you have not conquered, if you have not subdued yourself to conquer jealousy and envy, you'll be having issues. Oh. You'll be sinning against God, and you'll be on the road to on a slippery road. You'll be on a very slippery road. Let me tell you some things that we see on the road here. Some of these truck drivers or some men, when they especially see a woman driving, some of them, I think they are mostly uneducated people or just people that just have issues. They want if you are trying to overtake them, maybe you are just driving. Like for me, all the cars I've been driving in this country, they are on cruise control. So they have cruise control. They can be on cruise. So once I set my speed, I just need to control the steering. I don't throttle. I don't speed. I just let it go. So I've had some truck drivers. They want to. That's when they want to. You are just living your life. In fact, I just encountered one as I as I was coming in now. I think I was even few kilometers above the 100. Oh no, this one. I don't know. I was even few kilometers. So so he was so for that truck is a big truck oh, to drive past me. He was definitely driving maybe at 120 or at 115. Maybe at 120. And that because that is on the express and the speed limit there is 100. I was wondering how he was able to drive that, but he was so happy that he's overtaking a smaller car. But me, if I was the one that I can't control my emotions, I can't control my ego, I would want to also show him that I can drive past him. I can drive at 150 if I want. I can control the steering at 150, even 160 if I want. But I can't drive it because government has said we should drive at 100. So the max for me sometimes, if I want to, depends on what is going on. I can never, in this Canada, I think the max you can even drive, I've not seen more than 110. I think I've seen 121 somewhere in BC. I think 120. But mainly in this category, the highest I've seen is the highest in this category is 110. There's a highway when you're going towards Airdrie. You can drive 110. So other places is 100. Then there are several places inside town, inner roads that is 70, or you're climbing if you're climbing a hill or a flyover, a bridge. Is sometimes they say exit, if you're exiting 60, 70, 50. Some places maybe on the streets where people live 50. Then school or playground you have 30, right? Then maybe a yard. There are some yards that even have 10. So yeah, I'll just go in there. I don't need to prove to the truck driver that I can drive fast. It's not a race car. So I just maintain my lane, allow him pass. If I say I let my ego come in between and say, oh, let me show him that he can't pass me. It's not a race. So don't talk of life, right? Some of them, when you want to pass them, that's when they want to show you they can. My car is a good car by God's grace. can drive fast, but I don't want to. And I'm confident. My confidence does not lie in the speed I'm able to take. No, it's what I want to do. And I'm confident about it. And most times, what happened? I think he also got stuck somewhere. At the end of the day, I also passed him. Like because I maintained a steady speed. It's the express. I maintained a steady speed, and I'm not dragging anything with anybody. And I left my home on time. Where I'm going to, I know I'm going to get there on time too. So if you have not mastered jealousy, you're always looking across your shoulders to see what the next person is doing. Who has passed me? Let me do. Sometimes I see people like I'll be like, what's wrong with this one? This life, like nobody's living this life alive. Not that you will not be ambitious. You need to be ambitious, but maintain your energy, maintain your competition should be with yourself. Not to see, oh, this person has done more. This person is building a house. Oh, this person is you will not go and jump into something you are not even prepared for. Only be competing with who you are yesterday. You have your own timeline. Pray to God, have your plans and your goals and dreams and go at it. Not if not, you'll be having high blood pressure every time. This person has because people will pass you, people will grow, people will life is ups and downs. People will grow past you, or sometimes you too will grow past others. Congratulate people and live your and be happy, live your life. Not this one. Let me see what this one is doing. And when you notice somebody is like that and is close to you, give them space. Give them space. Let them know details about you, what you're doing, what you're up to. Because if somebody is, if in a plant, in a field, you plant yam, you plant cassava, you plant corn, you plant, you know, if instead of each one growing according to how God has destined them, like I have gone to the farm before, yam, those days, yam will, will crawl, will grow and crawl around. The farmers will come and put they call it imagine in Igbo land. They put um a strong stick pillar where the yam will just grow because the yam cannot grow. The leaves of the yam cannot just grow and stand on its own. Something has to something it has to you have to guard it on something, right? So if it's not following that thing and now going to grow on a corn, the corn because corn can grow and grow by itself. Excuse me. And that corn is there's also an adage in my place that says it's only a tree that knows they want to kill it and it will stay there. If, let me say that yam is a human being, instead of it to grow on its own, follow another where they put for him to grow, right? The pillar or the stick or they put for him. You now leave that place to go and start competing with the corn and start growing on the corn. Do you think that corn will survive? That corn is not going to survive now. So you are that corn and you are not a tree. You need to move and leave that place before that yam entangles itself from you. That's even how some snakes, some dangerous snakes, that's how they entangle on other human beings and they snuff life out of them. Okay? So if somebody is close to you, somebody is by your side, instead of the person minding their business and following their path, they're always looking for what you're doing. Like they're going to strangle you. So you need to leave that place and go and stay one place and thrive. And follow your lane. People that do relay race and they do sprint and everything, everybody has their lane. You don't leave your own and be jumping into another person's lane, right? This person has done. Let me also. And there's even what they call healthy and unhealthy competition. Maybe in a class, people write exams. Everybody they compete. Like it's not really compete. They measure their understanding level and mark and give them scores. So if you now start feeling, instead of congratulating the next person that wins. That's how people, when they do election, people win election, and the other person congratulates the other person. If you are wise, you have done well. Shake your hand. Next time you can do other things. Either you can do other things, either you do other things yourself, or you can also win tomorrow, right? In another thing. But if you have not mastered the the habit or the attitude of being happy for someone that is winning, congratulating someone that is winning, knowing that another day might be your turn too, then you're on a slippery road. You can never be happy in this life. You can never be fulfilled in this life, because you will always be running against other people instead of running against. Imagine if somebody is running, that all those people that run sprints, they call it a track events, right? Imagine instead of when they hit the gun, when they shoot the gun, go. Instead of you to be running and following, looking at your your lane, you're looking across to see if they are coming. If you're distracted, and you can never win that race. You can never win that race, because if you're looking across, who is coming close, who is it will be reducing your own energy to distract, and you reduce your own energy, and that's what Saul was doing. You have been king for a long time. You killed your those days. They measure how they are the high achievers by how many people they were able to defeat, they were able to kill in war and all that. You killed your thousands. David has killed his 10,000s. People praise him. What's your own? People that did not kill anybody, right? So that's he didn't master, he didn't suppress, he was not in control of his emotions and his ego. He has done well. Saul did well. Is it everybody that is opportune to be king? You now want to keep it for your children. Was your father a king? I don't know if his father was not a king now. He too was anointed like that and he became a king. I think he was the first king of Israel. I think so. I think he was the first. I can't remember now, but I think he was the first. So if he had not um, gone after David the way he did, he would have ended very well. Celebrate, hand over the kingship, celebrate him, and David will still take care of his family, right? Celebrate him. Why would you say? Do you want to? Who is going to be on this in this life forever? Nobody will be in this life forever. And if his children are not kings, there can be other things. There can be other things like um there can be other things, my dear. So I don't know the obsession he had. So if you are the type that you've not mastered how to subdue your emotions, if any ugly jealousy or envy wants to come up, then you're on a very long thing. You can never fulfill purpose, you can never reach your goal. You constantly be trying to be like others or trying to outrun others instead of trying to excel. Instead of trying to excel, you're trying to outrun others. Now that yam that is going to call on the corn, it's going to kill that corn, and most likely because the corn is not even it's not even what is designed for it to prosper. It's not going to it's not going to grow very tall. So the corn, because the corn is not human, but for you, if you allow such people around you and you give in and say, okay, let me just belittle myself. If David has said, okay, let me just be serving my king, he wants to kill me, and I let him kill me, he would have killed him, and he wouldn't have become king. He wouldn't have done all the exploits he did. He wouldn't have written psalms for us, right? So the onus is on you. If you are called to be king or called to be a priest, protect yourself. Protect yourself. Protect the energy around you. Protect the people around you. Protect your home. Protect that calling. Protect that calling God has given you. Protect it so that you would live to fulfill that which God has called you to do. Okay? So, Doeg the Edomite, that's descendant of Esau, was there when David was discussing with Ahimelech, and went and snitched on snitched on David and Ahimelech. That brought about his death. So make sure you don't have strange people around you. What do I mean by strange people? Strange people are people that wouldn't blink an eyelid to kill you. People that wouldn't mind killing you. People that won't blink an eyelid. Okay? They don't care. Mm. Let's uh, looking at how to. I'm going to use another app. Not maybe when I come back. I have an appointment very soon. Um, maybe a pop-up dashboard. Be very careful. Very careful. I think the way this thing is okay. I want to go and check my eyes again today. Those people, those doctors, they don't come to work on time. Those eye doctors. I went to one of the offices. I saw that they open at 11. I said, these people they enjoy you. Open at 11. Open at 11. Close at 6. They enjoy, I need to go and change this my glasses. Time for me to change it. It's up to 2 years. So what we're discussing today is the story of David. We're learning something from the story of David. Um, David, the one that has been anointed to be king, when he was still running from Saul all over the place. When he got to a time, he ran away from Saul that wanted to kill him. He ran to the priest Ahimelech, and um, incidentally, a strange person was there at that time, which is Doeg the Edomite. Um, what happened? Doeg the Edomite um, was quiet. You know those people, those evil people. They won't even contribute in the discussion, but they're taking notes of everything that is going on. All right. So he went and snitched on them. He went and snitched on them, and um, it happened that excuse me. It happened that when um, Saul, that wanted to kill David, heard what Ahimelech was doing, Ahimelech was innocently thinking that, oh, he's helping the king's the king's uh, the king's palace to go and do exploits. He said, "Is it the first time I've inquired of? This is not the first time I've inquired of the Lord. So why you? I don't know anything about what you're saying." But that cost him his life. So keeping that strange person close to him cost him his life that day, right? And the life of his the life of members of his household. So that is what we should be wary of. If you are called to kingship, to priesthood, be careful, be very careful. Know the kind of people you are bringing close in your inner chambers. Know the kind of people you are dining with. Are they trustworthy people? Can you trust them? The Old Testament, it was easy for people to just kill people like that. But these days, they might not use bear, arrow, and spear, right? Bow, arrow, and spear. But they can kill you in very many ways. They can betray you. They can smear you. When somebody is, how they one of the ways they operate is people will see that they are close to you. People around will see that they are close to you. So they want to go and tell lies about you behind your back. People will believe them because they feel they are close to you. So if they want to destroy you, they start telling people lies and they say, "Oh, don't tell her, don't tell him." So you might not even know that those stories are going around about you until you two need to find out what's going on. So that's why they have references, right? Who are your references? People that are close to you, people that have worked with you in one capacity or another. So sometimes, imagine if you use somebody you don't trust to give you a good reference to be your reference. The person can go behind you and say, "Oh, that one, don't employ him or don't employ her. That one is this," and still come to you and laugh. Of course, the new employer will be careful, be wary. They won't tell you now that you didn't get a good reference. They just say, "Okay, we can't employ this one," right? So that is the way it is with life generally. People, who are your references? That's what I would say. Who are your references? I think that would be my next topic. Who are your references? Is it people you trust? If you've used somebody as reference before and he got the job and it's just the reference part, he didn't get the job. You've passed, you've aced the interview. They've given you provisional appointment or provisional employment, and it's the reference part. They now go back to you and say, "Oh, something something." You know that your reference. You need to change that your reference. You need to change that reference, right? So um, I've not seen it happen to anyone I know, but I'm just using it as an analogy. So those are the same way that you have people around you are going to be your references when you are not looking. So that's the way they can kill you now these days. It's not the way like it was in the Old Testament where people just haul arrow at you and just kill you. It was easy for them. I don't know how they did it. It was just easy for them to just shoot people, to just kill people like that. Though in some countries, people still shoot people easily. In some countries, some people can still do it, but these days, if you are a normal human being, you don't just pick you a gun and just shoot anyone just because they offended you or just because you don't like them, right? So, but these evil people can do some damages to you if you're not careful, right? How they do that is by smearing you. It's called smear campaign in narcissistic abuse. Smear campaign, they go behind you, ring a lot of lies, bad stories, lies. They can heap lies on you, start telling people evil things that never happened. And if you are opportune to hear it, you begin to wonder. And when they can't say that before you, when you catch them, they still lie that they didn't say such thing. Why they say such thing. So that's how they damage people now. That's how they kill people now. So you need to be very, very careful and make sure that everyone that is coming into your inner chambers has your interest at heart. Has your interest at heart, right? But that's dog the Edomite. Only him snitched. Only him killed. Imagine how dangerous it was. Meanwhile, they left him in the inner room. In the inner room, they say he was dedicated to God. Which kind of dedication to God is that one? The servants that were not even privy to this information that were with Saul, when Saul told them kill the priest, they couldn't do it. Like How would they to them? How would they soil their hands? They didn't want to soil their hands. It was too much for them to do, so they didn't do it. So those are the kind of people you should have in your circle. Those that will it will be too hard for them to try to damage you in any way. You wouldn't want to do that. No, I can't do that to you. Even David that Saul was trying to kill. David was like, I can't soil my hands. I can't do that to my boss, to my father. He calls him his father. I can't do that to my father. I can't do that to God's anointed. You know, in my language, they say, uh, um, uh, Oriri again, Oriri Ami, or something like that. That is, they they will say that it's difficult. There's an adage they use, there's a word they use. They say it's difficult for for them to do. Oriri Ahumi, something like that. So there are some people that it will be difficult for them to do you wrong. If anybody comes to tell them, oh, comes to buy them, oh, even when they bribe them, oh, come on, no, I can't do that. Remember Joseph? Joseph, when Potiphar, his boss, Potiphar's wife said, come and lie with me. He said, no, I can't do that to my boss. I can't do that to my boss. Right? That would be a sin against God and a sin against my boss. So there are some people in this life. For me, I don't think anybody can pay me any money. I rather go and hustle for my money. That will make me go and sell somebody or go and damage somebody's reputation. If I feel you've done anything bad, I will confront you. I'll tell you what you're doing is not good. I'll say it in the open. I don't have to go behind. But the worst of it all is these people that do these things. Why don't you stay one place? They don't like to stay one place. They are so they are so they have very low self-esteem that they will want to destroy these people's reputation behind their back, but they can't do it in the open. If this person has done evil, why don't you do it? Why don't you tell the person in the open? You're an asshole. Why are you doing this? You're an asshole. Because they know they are lying, so they go behind. This one, they did this one. The way they open, they they chicken out. Why? They chicken out. Chicken out so easily. So the onus is on you to make sure that you protect yourself, protect your home. To make sure that you protect yourself, protect your home. To protect yourself and protect your home. More than one. I don't know. Thanks for effort. What is this? More than one injection is in the primary. Send you asking to the primary injection. Let me write this in so. Let me put up this one. So the onus is on you to protect yourself. The onus is on you to protect yourself. To make sure that no one, you don't give yourself away for anyone to mess around with. Okay? So the story of Ahimelech and Doeg the Edomites. The person he brought close snitched on them and also had the guts. He was the only one that had the guts to kill him. And all members of his family, except one person, Abiathar, that escaped. This is the story from First Samuel chapter 20 to 22. So, who are you bringing close? Who are you bringing into your inner chambers? Who are you allowing a space on your table, on your dining table? Excuse me, just let me take this call. So at this point, I'm going to just 1 second. Let me do something. 1 second, I'll be back. Okay, I'm done. I need to go now. I have an appointment. So if you see this video, sorry I had to do that break in transmission. So don't allow any dog, the Edomite, the stranger, to be in your space when you are doing what you are doing, when you are, having some specialized information, some sensitive things about you. Just let them be in the outer court. Have yourself a great one. Maybe when I come back, we'll continue from where we stopped. Thank you. Bye.